So hey guys, so the ODI series has just concluded. South Africa has won the series 3-0 in a whitewash against Zimbabwe. I'm here with the editor of SA Cricket Magazine and we're going to discuss and analyze the last 3 ODIs against Zimbabwe. So Simon, it was expected, a 3-0 whitewash, but it wasn't as easy as many would have thought. How would you summarize this last 3 ODIs?
Well, it was a bit of a struggle in a way for us because we would have expected to maybe crush them. Pat Simcox was expecting that we would really roll them over. Zimbabwe they're a very proud cricket nation. They've got a legacy of great players as well. And a lot of their guys they're very competitive. They're good cricketers. But as a team, they don't play enough together and perhaps they have other internal problems that are hampering them. So the Proteas had quite an experimental side as well, blooding a lot of young guys. So you could say, well, maybe we weren't expected to really roll them. But I think that overall, if we're looking to try to win the World Cup, our players, our fringe players, our second string players, they should all be there to be able to beat a side like Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe haven't even qualified for the World Cup. And guys are professional cricketers, they're all good, they're good quality of player. But we really should be looking to push to drive home the initiative a lot more against them.
Yeah, so let's talk about where it actually started, because when Otis Gibson came in, there was a lot of emphasis on the bowling because obviously of him being a great West Indian fast bowler, as well as his experience with England as the fast bowling coach. So we saw an immediate reaction from our bowlers. They've been more attacking, they've been more ruthless in their bowling attack, and our bowling attack has actually won us a lot of games recently. So when they came up with the whole idea of the attacking brand of cricket that they want to play, I could fully understand that he wanted to bring that into our bowling side of things. And he's really improved our bowling dramatically.
It's been astounding.
Yeah, as Lungingiri coming into the bowling attack has really helped Rabada be able to be free as well. Rabada's been world class, there's no doubt he's the best bowler in the world. We have Imran Tahir over there, he's the best spinner in the world. We still have some good all-rounders that can bowl a bit, and he's improved Andile Pechlukwai or the guys like Vivian Mulder we saw recently. So from an attacking sense, I understand that a positive approach with regards to our bowling.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, absolutely.
Gonna probably ruffle a lot of feathers over here, but our batting has been poor. And what I think is happening, and this is just my opinion, and this is just a thought of mine, is that there's been too much emphasis on us bringing in an attacking approach on our batting when that approach was already there before. We've had the best opening partnership possibly in South Africa's history in ODIs, I think, between Amla and Quinton de Kock. Possibly the best opening partnership in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
I feel if Amla's on form and Amla's been struggling, Quinton's been struggling. But I feel like that pressure's been put on them to perform and has actually made them perform worse than their potential is.
They may be forcing things a bit too much.
They're forcing it too much, whether they can display their natural game and it will be attacking automatically.
Yeah. I think our bowlers without question will win us the World Cup. We will win the World Cup with our bowlers. Yeah. The problem is we've also got our batsmen who, at the moment, we're not going to win the World Cup with our batsmen. So we've got the split team that our batsmen are brilliant. They're really good, but they're not putting it through in the right way, in my opinion. The attacking approach is a good approach to have. The positive approach is a good approach to have. We saw someone like Aiden Markram who really struggled in Sri Lanka, and players go through that, and he's going to learn from that and come out of that. He's a fantastic young player. Not even young, he's just a fantastic player. Let's not brand him as young. He's there, he's the finished item. In the one-day series, he was playing some staggering shots, but he looked like he was just keeping on playing the shots, and he almost didn't build an innings.
And adapt his game towards the situation.
What I'd really like to see some of the South Africans doing is getting into a situation where maybe they need 50 runs from 20 overs or from 30 overs, and the match is over. Someone like in Zimbabwe is a perfect example. Don't try and get there as quickly as possible. Say to yourself, Heinrich Klaassen, fantastic, he's played really well, but he's got out a couple of times. Now, you can't criticize a guy for getting out, and things happen, bad balls happen, bad luck happens. But I'd like to see the guys sometimes just saying, no matter what happens, imagine this is a World Cup final, I'm going to stick in here and be not out at the end. Imagine if to win the World Cup final, I have to not be out, still score positively, still score runs, but don't lose my wicket. And at the moment, in the Sri Lanka series and now Zimbabwe, I haven't seen that happening. And the bowling is just phenomenal. Otis has done a fantastic job there. But the batsmen something's not gelling. When they do gel, they've got what it takes to take the World Cup without doubt. And we've got the bowlers to back them up, and the fielders. So we just need to get the guys to click into gear, I think, and then we'll be fantastic.
Let's go deeper into this Vision 2019. So we know we have the Zimbabwe series at the moment that this is past, and the T20 series is coming up right now. Then obviously we're going to go travel to Australia next. It's going to be a real test against their speedsters and against their bowlers and their attack.
But Australia are also struggling, so it's a nice opportunity for us.
So Otis has basically said that Australia will be the last experimental phase. Here's what's going to come very big, maybe be a little bit controversial.
Yeah.
With the Zimbabwe series, I had a little bit of an issue with the fact that we attempted to try Dean Alga in the opening position. Now, mind you, I got a lot of stick for my column talking about this. I just felt that before, they've never tried Alga before in that opening slot.
Yeah.
I know that it's because Amla and Quinton de Kock is there, and this is not slandering Alga at all. I think Alga's I enjoy Alga's innings when he grinds out in tests, for example. I like that grittiness about him. I admire him a hell of a lot for the effort and heart he plays with.
He's a good stroke player
He's a good stroke player. But if Otis Gibson in ODIs wants to go with this attacking brand of cricket, he needs to rather pick players that have that within them already than try to change the players into something that they're not. So with regards to Amla, I think it's sorted. And with regards to Quinton de Kock, it's sorted. They already have that embedded in them.
Yeah.
It's embedded in their ethos of the way they play cricket. So that's fine with our opening batsman. Number 3 and number 4 is a very iffy position because Faf says he wants to bat 3, but Otis wants him at 4 in place of the now retired de Villiers. No, I think de Villiers is obviously retired and we have to respect him for what he's done. So there's a number 3 space up for grabs. Now Reza Hendricks performed hot and cold. A great debut century, maiden century on debut.
Yeah.
And then he went blank for a few games and then again against Zimbabwe scored an important
batted very well.
For half century and batted really well. But that was as an opener. So are we still going to experiment so close to the World Cup? Should we not rather pick our number 1 team for Australia?
I think absolutely that they should put a marker down and just say this is the team and go to Australia. Obviously you have a squad, so a couple of players in or out of form, but they should really just pick a team and say, we're going to go for it. It's been very important to give guys a test. Here's the problem with the trial phase is that Dean Elgar, maybe it's a bit unfair on him because they put him in to open and he failed twice. Okay, to me, he was playing too attackingly. He's not that type of batsman. He was almost playing too attackingly too early. Was that team tactics? That's maybe unfair on him. And then if he fails, do those 2 failures mean that he's not part of our World Cup plans? That he can't make a difference in the World Cup? That's where I think it's difficult. I think the selectors need to give players a chance to prove themselves in situations. But the selectors also need to say, who do we think is right? We're not going to have a player playing 5 or 10 games now, making runs the whole time. There'll be ups and downs. You look at Rassie van der Dussen yesterday.
Yeah.
Brilliant innings, but now what happens if he fails in the next innings? How long do they give him a test for? At what point do you know that you're in the side or not in the side? Exactly. So, I think they need to say, Reza Hendricks, perfect example. He scored 100 in debut and then he sort of went off the boil. He struggled. Yeah. He went in with a bit of a slug in the last overs in the one match. So it's a difficult situation for the guys as well. But I think you need to look and say, to me, Reza Hendricks, he just looks like the man he should be on the side. I don't care if he makes, single figures until the World Cup. He looks like the type of player who can do the business. So just back him and say, we want you in. Don't be jumping around because the problem is that you never really know who's good enough. Kaya Zondo, I really like him as a player. He's had a couple of chances, hasn't really, set the world alight, but he's looked good. So how do you know if you put him in or not? It's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
I think they need to, for Australia, just say, this is our team. If we make a mistake, we're sorry, but just back the guys and say, here you go, and just go for it and do your best.
What do you think our perfect batting lineup would be? Because at the moment I feel that Heinrich Klaassen has performed exceptionally actually, and and another issue with the South African team is that number 6 position.
Yeah.
That has generally been David Miller's position, and we know we have JP Duminy that is performing exceptionally well at the back end of the innings. Even though he says he wants to bat at number 4, I feel that he bats really well at number 5 position. He's done really well when we're in trouble to bring us out of that. Yeah. He kind of brings his T20 approach into his ODI game, and I love that. I love to see that JP Duminy.
Yeah.
So I feel that number 1 and 2 has to be Quinton de Kock and Amla. I gave the suggestion that maybe Amla could move to number 3 and Aiden could open, but I'm a big fan of Aiden Markram and the way he bats, and I've watched him in the one-day cups and the way he attacks is unbelievable from the top of the order when he's playing confidently. I think you'll do well against the seam bowling on England conditions and England. Yeah, so that would be my ideal 11, but I think what they would go with is something more experienced. But if we have Faf at number 4 and we have Riza Hendricks at number 3, then number 5 can be JP Duminy, but it's going to be an issue with David Miller and Anna Klaassen. I think they're going to have to compete for the number 6 position. And then we have the 2 all-rounders, if they're going to go with the 2 all-rounder system or not. That's another worry.
I think you mentioned the guys' names. I mean, we've got just really good cricketers who are really performing, but there's something within the team, or not within the team, that sounds controversial, but there's something just within the players, or maybe it's just opposition they're playing, that there's something's not quite gelling yet, that they're not all coming off in the right way. And maybe that's just something that's going to be a natural thing that will peak at the World Cup. We have got really terrific players. When they're on song, there's no reason why we can't win the World Cup at all. But we said that before Sri Lanka. I thought we would beat Sri Lanka 2-0 in the Test series, and take the one-day series as well quite easily. Good news is the latest issue of SA Cricket magazine is out. It's a fantastic issue. We've got one of the best cricketers in the world, and certainly for the future, Lungi Ngidi on the cover. Also, we feature Aiden Markram, who's a star for the future, a star for today. Riza Hendricks, Kaya Zondo, David Miller. We're looking ahead to the World Cup, profiling what's going to be happening. We've also got a great feature on the Women's World T20. We picked 15 players that you need to watch out for during a tournament. It's going to be a cracker.